Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the growth that you will experience over time when you journal. If you put the time into journal, it's just like meditation. You will get clarity, and the questions that you have in your mind's eye will get answered. I know a lot of people don't want to put the time in for meditation, and it's the same thing with journaling. I'm going to give you the raw truth. I'm going to give you how my journaling has changed over the last decade, and how I have evolved from journaling. So my morning routine is I grab a cup of coffee. I usually put on some inspirational YouTubers that I like that talk about sacred geometry, God, whatever. And I begin to write. And sometimes I need to turn the YouTube channels off completely and I will journal in silence. Sometimes I'll journal to the sounds of water or nature, but I begin to journal with my coffee. Hands down, has been the most healing experience. Meditation has gotten me closer to realizations of like, okay, nothingness. In nothingness is everything. It's infinity. Like there's nothing, but yet we have infinity. Meditation did that for me. But my self-healing and my human goals here in this reality, the healing that occurred was through journaling. So that's the difference between meditation and self-reflection within journaling. Doing them together is very, very powerful, and that's where I experienced the most growth. So when I began to journal, I would just write like very broad truths. And that is the one thing that you are going to find, and also that is going to help you experience growth, is you can't lie. You're not going to sit there and you're not going to lie to yourself when you're writing to yourself. So journaling gets you real honest, really, really, really honest. And that is how you grow. When you see the raw truth about your fears and your blocks without blame or shaming others, but you take on the responsibility of yourself, journaling helps you do that. That is when you will experience life. You start to see life differently from a different lens. That's what journaling did for me. So what happened in the beginning was I began very broad. I would just like journal about my day, and I would just reflect on how my day went. And then over like, I'm not good at time. I don't know time very well. Let's just say over the years, I don't know. Over the years, journaling became more channeling for me. So I would just pick up a pen with no judgment and just start writing whatever thoughts would come to my mind. So I no longer was reflecting my day, but I was literally just writing without any judgment of self. So that's how my journaling evolved. And when I began to write without any judgment, I started to see patterns of where I had more fear in my life and I needed more love. And what that did for me was I began to draw. So once I started channeling, so for example, like once I started just kind of like writing for the sake of writing because I had a thought, I began to actually draw things. I started getting into sacred geometry. And when I got into sacred geometry, that's when I saw the most amount of growth. So now this is my journal basically, and what it's done for me is I'm more specific and to the point. In order to, my goal is with this journal, I want to get into the vortex. I feel like I am, but we get out really quickly too, right? So I want to get into the vortex and I want to access things like money. I want it to come out of the vortex and into the bank account. So I have a purpose when I do this sacred geometry, and I want to find out, like, what are my blocks? I'll give you a really good example, and this was a breakthrough for me this morning. So while I was journaling, and I was like, okay, I want to talk about money because we all need more money, right? Well, not all of us, but we all want more money. So what I do is, so now I use the triangle as my raw truth. And what I do is I will write, so I will write what I want up here as my goal, and then down here is what comes out of fear, what comes out of love. So for me, when I think about money, I actually, even when I think about my childhood, we were abundant. Like, my parents were really good at not making us feel any fear for money. Like, we got everything that we wanted, but without being spoiled. So I did not have money blocks. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I don't have these money blocks that everybody else, like, it's not that I didn't feel worthy of money. I feel very worthy of money. Like, I don't have these blocks. So what the hell is it? And here's what I realized. So what I did, and this is how your journaling will evolve. So my journaling from just reflection of my days has evolved to sacred geometry, and has evolved to giving me answers through my reflection. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. So when I was journaling this morning, I wrote here, money. And then instead of money, which is normally what I just write money, I actually was guided to write up here, what healed me? What healed me? And then here I just wrote, what made me whole? And then down here, for the fear part, I wrote success. And then for the love, the positive side, I wrote abundance. So, and then in the middle, my balance, I wrote money. And then I started looking at this and just thinking, yeah, that makes sense. Like, to me, money comes from success. And I, as an entrepreneur, went through so many struggles. Yes, I was successful, but money is hard to come by when you're an entrepreneur. The competition, the amount of money you spend in marketing, all of that actually tore me down. It ate at my soul, and I did not feel successful financially, money-wise, although I was successful. But here's the thing, and this is the kicker. This is why journaling is so important. The reason I didn't feel successful is because I didn't get the support that I needed from my family and people that I absolutely loved. And I wanted a little bit of good job, girl, like you did well. I didn't get that. So I was never able to look at myself as being successful, because in the past, success was education. And this I had to write down as well. So in the past, success was education. Success was making money based on my accolades. And when I didn't get the hooray from my people of being an entrepreneur and getting out there and taking a risk, which nobody that I know has ever done. Like, I don't know anybody really. Because I didn't get that, I didn't feel successful. So, but on the other opposite side, I know I'm abundant. Abundance to me is abundance in love, abundance in nature. Like, I know I'm abundant. So see what this did for me? So what I realized was that I don't have any issues with worthiness. Through journaling, this is what journaling does over time. I have had issues and blocks around not feeling successful. And I wouldn't have figured that out if I didn't journal every damn day. So money has become balance to me. I can't have the fear of not being successful because that's blocking my money. So if I can stay within balance within myself, then I can share freely of what healed me. And what healed me is my talent. That's where your money is. That's the abundance code. What heals you is what is going to bring you your abundance when you share that talent and gift with the world, when you give it of service. What healed me was this exact YouTube channel. Me speaking my truth, sharing my journey was what healed me. So this, my friends, is what journaling does. This is why it is so important to journal. And your journaling will grow and evolve and continue healing you every single day. You don't have to wait till your next counselor's appointment. You can just pick up a pen and you can start writing. But remember, journaling cannot be about anybody else. It cannot be about shame, blame, hate, and projecting onto others. It truly needs to be a service of self-reflection to your own self, to your mind, to your soul. I love you guys.